The new sci-fi horror thriller Life hits theaters this weekend, but is it dead on arrival? You'll find out right here on Screen Junkies News.
No! It's in between my fingers. It's not letting go.
Hi, I'm Dan Merle, here with your review for Life, the latest film from Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers of Deadpool, and Daniel Espinosa, who you know from movies like Safe House and Child 44. For people that are supposed to be really smart, scientists in these sci-fi horror thrillers are pretty stupid because every single one of these movies relies on a bunch of people who are the smartest people in the world making a bunch of really dumb decisions. Now, that's not a fault of this movie. That's the fault of every alien sci-fi movie, all the way from Alien to every other one that you've seen. These really smart people find something that's obviously a threat to their lives, maybe even the lives of everybody on Earth, but decide to play around with it a little bit. What could possibly go wrong? Well, in Life, you find out what could possibly go wrong. And even though the setup for this movie sounds really cliched, I have to say, I was on board with this movie for about the first 2/3. A lot of it was the talented cast, which includes Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and Rebecca Ferguson. They form an effective team, they joke around with each other, they laugh. You actually do kind of see why they're all in space, what their motivations are. They do a good job of setting up these characters for you to care about them when, inevitably, the life form that they've discovered from the planet Mars ends up running amok on the International Space Station. I liked how they grounded this in reality. I liked the way that they presented this life form. This isn't something that just pops out fully formed. You see how it evolves, how it thinks, how it learns, and that's what makes it scary. Yes, it does owe a lot to Ridley Scott's original Alien film. We're going to get another version of this in Alien Covenant coming out later this year. But just because it's reminiscent of something doesn't mean it's bad. So I would not shake Life off as just another ripoff of Alien. There are a lot of parts of this movie that actually worked for me. Unfortunately, the last third of the movie kind of runs out of steam. The alien stops evolving and the movie stops evolving at the same time. I was really hoping for them to go somewhere interesting with the story, and instead we got the same kind of generic space ending that we've seen in so many recent films like Gravity and The Martian. I was hoping that they would do something new, set up something new from this great basis that they started from. Unfortunately, Life runs out of gas way too early and kind of putters to a somewhat quasi-Twilight Zone ending that I didn't quite get on board with because it hadn't really been properly set up. Of course, the comparisons to Alien are inevitable, but what I was reminded of was that this is kind of a throwback to the 90s sci-fi gore genre that you saw with movies like Event Horizon. It is gory. It does have a lot of body horror moments. That's kind of what kicks this film off and what keeps it running for the first 2/3 of the running time. But once those thrills run out and you're left with them trying to figure out what to do now that they're fighting this alien creature, it really runs out of new things to say and do. The most disappointing thing about Life isn't that it's mediocre, it's that it's mediocre coming from such a strong base of things that it laid down earlier in the film. And I feel like if they'd been able to deliver on the promise that the movie showed in the opening hour, this really could have been something special. As it stands, I can't recommend for you to pay full price to see Life. This is maybe a matinee movie or something you should watch on HBO or rent when it comes out on home media. So those are my thoughts on Life. What did you think of the movie? Are you excited to see it? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, check out right here for reviews of the latest movies hitting theaters and breaking news that we're covering all the time right here on Screen Junkies News. Until next time, I'm Dan Merle. Thanks for watching.